Well, hi there. This is Chris Cartea, and this is what my hair looks like in the morning. It's all frizzy and crazy and nuts and everything. Anyway, I wanted to tell you, since I have battled in every range of Nerf, from stock to about 400 feet per second, what is each class of Nerf battle like? And as you know, I go to stock wars. I've gone to 150 foot per second wars. I've gone to modded stock wars. I've gone to 200 foot per second wars. I've gone to full length only wars. I've gone to HVZs. I've gone to Nick wars. I've gone to Singapore modded stock wars. I've gone to all the wars. What are they like in classification by velocity? Okay, first off, modded. They're just stock. Stock. Stock wars are fun because kids can play. Um, you're usually playing in a smaller area, let's say a house, whatever. If you shoot in a house, you're probably not going to knock everything over, everything like that. But people don't call their hits. It's kind of sad because, and a lot, it's not on purpose either. Sometimes you just can't, you know, you just can't feel the hits. And also, I hate it when people go to stock wars and they're wearing all these vest gear, chest gear, like gear things, and it's like that just makes it so they don't feel it. um, we get a lot more players that go like, "Oh no, you didn't hit me," sort of thing. Okay, and a lot of more people are inexperienced and just they don't they don't call their hits as much. They're just starting out, most of them. The nice thing about it is you can play in a smaller space, but once you get outside, it's a bit. And for that reason, we mod blasters. Well, let's get into to early modded stock, or HVZ. That is about anywhere from, I would say, 85 feet per second to about 130 feet per second. This is when you start seeing a lot more carry. The darts go about twice as far, and that's nice because it makes it so that you don't have to arch everything. It's a little easier to feel the hits, and usually you have a lot of more flywheel players, tons of flywheel players. Every once in a while, you'll see someone with a pistol or a jolt, or somebody who will just play with a triad for fun. But let's face it, most of these guys are flywheel players. Okay. One thing very important in HVZ is that you have redundancy and that your shots are consistent, meaning that you can load reliably every single time. That's really important. If I had to put one big value on HVZ, it is that your blaster fires every time. I don't think you're safe with a front-loaded blaster either, because your darts can fall out when they're in their holster. I had that happen on Firestrike once when somebody got them with an Alpha Trooper. You can have all sorts of failures with any type of feed mechanism. It just pick the one that's most suitable for you. Personally, I like the rival Cronoses. When I took them to Stalking Dead, they were great. They were wonderful. The Mauser fire was great too. That won me in the last round of Stalking Dead. I pulled out in the last 20 seconds or so, and I hit like 8 people in seconds. It was pretty cool. It was like, you know. So I picked a blaster, one Stefan blaster, and 2 rifle blasters, spring powered, as a failsafe, and it worked. It worked very well. My next class of blaster I want to talk about is super stock, high end super stock, 150 to 200 feet per second, or 130 to 200 to 200 feet per second. But usually just 150 to 200. This is where you see a lot more brushless flywheel blasters. Again, it's a war that's a little more conquered by rate of fire, and you will stop seeing that right around 200 feet per second. The next category. Okay, so it's still a little more close quarters combat, but you can still engage people from about 100 feet away, which is nice. You have a little bit of more of that extended range. Parks become more feasible, not just small areas of parks like at 130 feet per second, but I mean like pretty good sized park areas. Okay, Nick wars are about this range. They're about 150 to 200 feet per second. Your plus bows, your AT2Ks will be about over that, about 230, 250 feet per second. But a lot of your spring powered stuff is not, and it's a pretty good way of playing, and it's for sure you can feel. But this is about the time where you start getting welts, you start feeling your hits. If that doesn't bother you, that's great. If it does, we'll go back farther. Then you go to about what I would call Singapore modded stock, or I would say higher end Nick. That's about 200 to 275 feet per second. Most blasters are around that range. This is where you need good teamwork, good aim, good coordination. You end up seeing a lot better players, are a lot better trained, a lot more mods. Almost everything is modded at this point. There's no stock blasters here. Everybody's playing. Okay, even if somebody has a mole vest or tack gear, they usually hit it. When they usually feel it when they get hit. Even if they don't feel it, if you call it, they'll go, okay, I got hit, sort of thing. And not to mention, you got a powerful enough blaster now that if somebody doesn't call their hits and you just keep shooting at them, they're going to feel the punishment. And I've had to do that several times. And oh yeah. So when this is I think a really fun range to play, but it gets even more fun when you get into, I would say, 275 to 400 feet per second. Put in mind that at this point, the higher up you go on the wars, the less available they are. Except for, of course, I would say the Singapore wars, because in Singapore, a lot of people play in that area. It's just that level of play that everybody plays. But in America, the higher the velocity you go, the less people are going to have modded blasters. The higher rules are going to have. People have rules against Steffens, even though they're just the same darts, they're just half the length. They think for some reason they're more dangerous. It's a bunch of poppycock, but 275 to 400 feet per second, or for all practical terms, 275 to 300 feet per second. Put in mind that really you start seeing a lot less flywheel blasters. You see a lot more Springer blasters. You see a lot more air-powered stuff or HPA stuff if it's permitted. You'll see some people with flywheels, and just like Singapore, where it's not completely dominated by long shots and caliburns, neither is this either. But it's a little more focused on darts, accuracy. You see people from long range trying to pop people off like I do. But then you'll see people like, let's say, the guy who, like Lego DEI. He plays at 14K and 200 feet per second. You'll see a lot of mid-range snipers, not just your long-range snipers. And you'll see a lot of people rush them that have higher velocity stuff. You'll see a lot of plinker blasters like this one, the Bird of Prey fire. And it has the advantage of high accuracy, lower ammo use, but less rate of fire. Well, at long range, you can play with a blaster like this. You get a lot of uhs and ahs and this, but you have a lot of nights where you're up, working on blasters, working on darts, working on everything. I mean, if you're really serious about it, you're taking the Nerf hobby to the very edge of where it can go at about 350, 400 feet per second. You are taking it as far. The number 300 long shot from Al Turbino, he has taken that really far. You've seen how that goes. And usually you need a lot of specialized parts, metal internal, stuff like that. Well, this is Chris Cartea. Don't you go changing.